Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day. It's a windy day out here in this beautiful park here in South Florida. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to use your own hobby grade transmitter with the OMPHobby S720 airplane. The specific hardware that I'm going to be talking about in today's video can be used with any DSM-2 or DSM-X compatible transmitter, such as the Jumper TX T8SG, or something if you have a Devo, something like this, or if you have a Spectrum branded transmitter or any other brand that supports either DSM-2 or DSM-X. Now, the specific hardware that I'm going to be talking about today is to be used with a DSM-2 or DSM-X compatible transmitter specifically, but you can also use an S-Bus based transmitter as well if you get the appropriate antenna, and we'll talk about that as well. All right, so let's talk about what you're going to need to use to get this plane working. I am going to post links on in the description for all of these items to make it easier for you guys. And also, if you guys are able to use those links to make the purchases, it does send a few bucks my way. It's not big, but you know, it's some extra lunch money here and there. And I would be truly appreciative if you guys did that. It doesn't cost you anything, but you know, it just helps me out a little bit, and it provides some extra encouragement for me to keep making videos like this as well. Okay, so let's talk about what you're going to need to do this. First thing that you're going to need is an external antenna that you can plug into the logic board on the airplane. This antenna here, I think this is a 3-pin mini Molex connector. Don't quote me on that 100%, but this does support it. When you go looking for an antenna, make sure that it does come with the right cable as well, because sometimes they don't necessarily come with this specific cable. But this is a Redcon. It supports DSM-2 and DSM-X. Most of these antennas, as far as I know, you are going to need a way to bind the antenna outside of the airplane. There are some that do go into an auto bind mode every time you power them on, but as far as I know, most of these you do need a way to power to pair the antenna with your transmitter outside of the airplane. If you plug this into the logic board on the airplane, unfortunately, it will not let you actually bind this to the transmitter straight from the airplane. You need something external to plug the antenna into first, to bind it first, and then you plug it into the airplane once it's already bound. So for that, I'm going to use this guy right here. This is a little bind module. It's made by iRange-X. Get my paper here. It's made by iRange-X, and I'll also have a link for this in the description. This is really inexpensive. It's about $4 at Banggood. I think I might have bought it from somewhere else. I think I paid maybe $10 for it, but it's a really popular device. And what's cool about it is that all you need is a micro USB cable like this, with this kind of connector here. There we go, micro USB, and a 5-volt power source that would normally be used with a USB, such as a laptop or just a regular old power outlet. So you can do this right from home with a wall adapter, USB wall adapter that you would use to charge your phone. Or, since I'm out here in the park, I'm actually going to use this battery bank right here. This is just a regular old battery bank, and I'm going to use this to power it on and actually go through the binding process with you guys. Okay, and now that we have all of our components ready, let's go ahead and get this antenna ready to be bound to the transmitter. First thing I'm going to do is plug the antenna into the bind module. I'm going to take this white Molex connector. I'm going to take a look at the pins and match it and plug this into there. Okay, it goes in nice and easy. Then I'm going to take the USB cable and plug this into the bind module as well. I like to personally plug everything into the bind module first and then plug the power in last, so that I don't have to touch this while it's powered in. I always try to avoid touching powered electronics, even though it may not hurt me because it's a pretty low voltage and amperage. I might actually end up damaging it somehow. So I just try to avoid touching electronics while it's powered on. Next thing I'm going to do is take my battery bank and plug this in. So let's plug that in, nice. And right now, it's hard to see. Can you see that light? There you go. So the light is blinking on the bind module, and the light is flashing rapidly on the antenna. This is what we want. You should get a rapidly flashing light on your antenna. If it's not, then something is not right, and then you're not going to be able to bind. So you absolutely need to get this flashing red light on your antenna, especially if you're using this one. The other antennas I'm not familiar with necessarily. I suspect they're probably going to be a similar kind of procedure. You can always double check with the manufacturer on what should happen. But with this Redcon, you definitely want this flashing orange light. Now, let's get our transmitter over here. And I don't even have a model for this. So this was for another plane I was tinkering with. So what we're going to do here, if you guys can see that, let me zoom in a little bit. All right, we'll bring that right there. That looks good. We're going to, I turned on the transmitter. For those of you who are new to the jumper, all I did was did a quick tap on the power button, and ignore what it's saying with binding. That just happens to be the specific model that I'm on right now. But we're going to press enter, this top left button here, to go into the model menu. So we're going to highlight model menu. You can press up or down to change what you want to highlight, and you press enter again. Now we're going to go into model setup, press enter again. And here we need to go back and go down to where it says right here. This is where we are going to select the specific protocol that we're going to use. If you have a Jumper TX, T8SG, or if you have a Devo, this is the procedure you would use for these. If you have a different type of transmitter, then just check with your manufacturer on the procedure that you would use. So from here, I'm going to go maybe to the right, and I'm going to keep pressing right on this until I reach DSMX. And I think I'm going the wrong way. As you can see, this supports many different modules. Okay, that was the wrong way. So let's go. Oh, I think I passed it. Nope, I don't think I passed it. All right, let's just go all the way to the left, and we'll go back up slowly. Oh, there it was. I did see it. Okay, so it's close to being all the way to the left if you're using a deviation-based transmitter. So at this point, it says DSMX. If we look at our antenna, this is still flashing. And I'm going to hit down to go and highlight bind. And now at this point, I'm going to press enter, and we should see this light turn off. So let's just put this here. I'm going to press enter, and it's going to give me this 2 seconds. You'll notice the light already turned off. There we go. The light has now stopped flashing on this. I'm going to press enter again, and that's it. This antenna is now bound to my transmitter. It's ready to go. I'm going to press back, go back to the main menu. So from here, what I'm going to do is first disconnect the power from the power bank. Let's zoom out on here. First thing I'm going to do is disconnect the power so that there isn't any electricity running through it. Then I'm going to disconnect the antenna. And we can set this aside for now. We don't need this anymore. And there you have it. This antenna is now bound to my transmitter. Now we just have to install it in our plane. At this point, I do want to briefly mention S-Bus. If you are using a DSMX antenna like we're doing in today's video, you're going to be plugging your antenna into the left port, which is CON 2. This one is for DSMX. But if you use a FreeSky or a Futaba transmitter and you have an S-Bus antenna, you're going to be plugging in your antenna into the right port, which is this one here.
the CON 3 port. This one is for S-Bus.
Okay, here's our plane again, and our antenna is ready. We're going to plug this into the logic board. Once again, we're going to be plugging it into this one right here, which is the second one. I'll zoom in on this. We're going to plug it into this one right there, which is CON 2. And this should go in pretty easy. So I'm going to match the pins. The pins are closer to me, and I'm going to match the same thing here. All I'm going to do is just set this up, kind of have it go straight in, and I'm going to use the screwdriver to seat it in. Boom, just like that. And it is now plugged in, ready to go. Okay, so before we can fire a plane, first we need to configure our transmitter. So I'm going to do a quick tap on the power button, turn this on, and I'm going to press this top left button, which is the enter button. That's going to take me into the main menu. Here under the main menu, you can use the up and down buttons to navigate. And we're going to highlight model menu, press enter. Once again, you can use up and down to navigate. We're going to highlight model setup, press enter again. Now we're going to go and take a look at everything and just make sure everything is set up the way that we want it. We're going to press down to go through the menu. I'm going to leave the model name as Model 1, but you can press enter into here and then change the name according to your plane. So if you want, we can go over to delete and press enter. That deletes everything, and then I'm just going to do a really quick 720 here. Enter, go up, left, right a couple times. Enter, 2, 0, enter. The name that was in there was fine before, it's just said Model 1. That would have worked, but it doesn't tell us what plane it is. So now we're going to press down a few times, and I'm going to change the model type to heli. From heli to plane. I'm going to go down, transmitter power. I'm just going to turn it up a little bit so that I know it's not going to have any issues here. And at this point, this is going to go back to DSMX. This is the same transmitter I was working with before, but I did reset the model just so you can see me and everything that I do to it. It has a fixed ID. I'm going to delete this. Enter, 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 enter. Down, done. And let's go back all the way down. And channels. We only need 5 channels for this plane. So at this point, this part is set up. Now I'm going to go into the channel monitor and just make sure that all the channels are working properly. So from the home screen here, we're going to press enter, go into transmitter menu by highlighting that and pressing enter. Now I'm going to go press down, channel monitor, and these are all my channels. So I had previously done some things to this transmitter, so I want to make sure that everything is working properly. And it is. Now I fly, it goes up to 99, which is fine. I fly in mode 4, so the specific channels might not correspond the same with your transmitter, so just keep that in mind, but everything is working correctly. All right, bringing our plane back here, I'm going to go ahead and plug in the battery for the plane. One quick tip that's pretty important is make sure that you take your propeller off of your plane in case there's something funky with your transmitter. You don't want that propeller to spin while you have the plane on the table. So not sure if you heard the little beep. We heard a little beep, and I don't see any lights on this. If you have it at home, I believe there should be a blue light flashing, sort of a slow flash on the airplane. And now I'm going to turn on the transmitter. So let's go ahead and turn this on, quick tap. Now when I turn on the transmitter, the light on the antenna did turn on. Hopefully you guys can see that there. So the light on the antenna was not on until I turned on the transmitter. So I'm actually going to turn it off again to demonstrate that. See, it turned off and turned on. That's because we had already previously bound it and it's communicating with our transmitter. Now at this point, I should be able to start moving everything. So those are the ailerons here. And let's go back and take a quick look at our rudder. There's the rudder, there's the elevator. All right, there's one more thing we need to set up on our transmitter here. Now that we have the plane, I'm going to show you what we need to do to channel 5. This plane has a gyro on it that you can, normally with the default controller, here it is. With the default controller, you would be able to press this normal or sport mode to be able to switch it between the gyro being activated and keeping you safe and secure, or if you go into sport mode allows you to have full control over the plane. And right now we don't have that. That ability. So we're going to actually program one of the switches to be able to give us that option. Before we do that, I am going to unplug the battery from the plane, just in case anything goes wrong. And let's zoom in on this. Okay, that works pretty well. We are back here on the home menu for the S720, and I'm going to press enter. Going to press enter again to go into the model menu. And then here, I'm going to highlight mixer by pressing down and pressing enter. Now, these are going to be my controls for the airplane. I've got throttle, aileron, elevator, and rudder. And if we scroll down, just press the down button multiple times, it's going to zigzag between all of these. I'm going to go to channel 5. Channel 5 right now is set to none. We want to enable that. And I'm going to set it up as just a simple. We're going to press down and we need to assign, oh, there it is. We need to assign a source. So let me go back so we don't confuse you. I'm going to press enter and I'm going to press down. I'm going to press right once so that it says simple. Then I'm going to press down twice to where it says source. And this is where we assign the specific switch that we want to use for that. I'm just going to set it to this switch right here. So when I flip the switch, I'll zoom out a little bit. When I flip the switch, it's going to change the source. So right now it says none. If I flip this switch, it now says SWH1. So now I have set channel 5 to this switch here. At that point, we should be able to just press down, 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 and save it. Press enter. Now, I believe there is one thing that needs to be done. Here, press up until you highlight channel 5, and you're going to press enter. We need to reverse this. So I'm going to press right to where now this says reversed. And then I'm going to press, just take a quick look here, make sure everything is okay. Yep, that all works. I'm going to press the back button and back again and back again. So what I have is the transmitter, all my controls are all set up properly. I have this switch set to be my channel 5. You can set any switch you want. I just wanted that one to be set. What that's going to do is turn the gyro on or off. So it's going to either put us into that safety mode, or it's not going to let us bank too hard or dive too hard, or we can turn that off and have full control.
Now I do want to pause one moment here and clarify something about reversing the switch. Reversing is not necessary for this function to work. Reversing simply assigns which position of the two-position switch is going to be the trainer mode or the manual mode. What this means is that when the switch is in the up position, meaning it's pointing away from you, away from the user, this is the default position for the transmitter. Just like we usually have most of our switches pointing in the up position, they're pointing away by default on our transmitter. By reversing the switch, this tells the plane to be defaulted to be in the trainer mode when the switch is in the up position, the far position from the user. When you flip the switch down closer to the user, this is now going to put the plane into manual mode. And I'll demonstrate that here in the video.
So let's set this aside again, bring the plane back and plug it in. Okay. At this point, let me zoom out. And I'm going to go left and right. Awesome. Let me take a quick look here at the airplane. All right, I just tested the plane, everything works, and I want to show you how the plane reacts with the gyro mode or with the gyro mode either enabled or disabled. So right now the gyro, the switch is actually set to the back. See if we can focus on it. There we go. So the switch is set backwards. So this is the default value. And at the default value, let's say the plane goes for a nosedive. Look what happens. The elevator in the back tilts up to try to compensate for that, and it's going to stay in that position until the plane levels out, and then that levels out. Now, if I go into a dive, if I start climbing, it's going to hold that until the climb levels out and then the elevator levels out. And it's going to do the same thing for the ailerons as well. So if the plane tilts this way, you see the aileron tilts up. If the plane goes this way, let's see, there you go. So the aileron is trying to compensate so that the plane ends up leveling out. So the ailerons are going to also try to compensate for that. Now, if I flip the switch to the up position, then the plane should now give me full control, and it will not do what it was just doing. So I'm going to flip this up, and we can actually see it right here. So what I'll do is I'll have the plane go in the nosedive. We're all gonna die! And we're gonna turn this on. Boom! Now I have full control over the plane, and you can see the gyro is not working the way that it was before. The gyro is still activated, which means, let's say you do the plane gets taken by wind, and it does a quick adjustment. The gyro will do a quick adjustment to try to level you out, just to keep you so that you're not being adjusted by the wind. But I have full control. So here's the difference. Let's say the plane is in a nosedive. When I have full control, I can do this, and I can keep it in a nosedive. I can make this thing go straight down. But if I were to put the switch back into gyro enabled mode, which is going to be backwards, we're going to see that the gyro is trying to balance out the plane right now. So right now, this is the plane trying to basically take me out of that nosedive. Even if I press all the way up on my transmitter to make it go down even further, it won't. So the most control I have right now is to let the plane go straight, which is not what I'm doing here. To make the plane go straight, I would actually just let go of the stick. But as you can see, it's actually trying to make the plane go up. But when I actually flick the switch, we're going to see that elevator flip down to allow me to do the nosedive, which is what I'm trying to do here. So that's it. This allows you to control the sport mode. That's it, folks. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see your comments down in the comment section. Please like this video if you felt that it helped you out. That way it can get out there and help other people as well. And I'd love to hear your comments if you were able to also get your plane up and running with your own hobby grade transmitter. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have fun flying.